Hey, second grade, Miss Daly here. For today's math lesson, we are going to be jumping into a brand new module. And this module, I have a feeling you will all really enjoy because we are going to be talking about money. So we are moving and transitioning away from arrays, and we are going to be learning about how to count money, how to use money, and how to solve word problems involving money. Now, the biggest thing to take away from this lesson that I want you to remember is that it is so important to know how to count, how to manipulate, and how to use money in your everyday life, because as you grow up, you will become more and more aware of how important it is to know how to use money wisely. Okay? I'm not saying that money is everything, but I am saying you need to know how to use it wisely and be smart with your money. Okay, but in order to get to that step, we need to know how to count money. So that is what we will be focusing on today. Our objective is, I can recognize the value of coins and count up their total value. So just today, we are going to be looking at coins. All right, first, let's take a look at some coins. What is this coin? It's a penny. Good. And how much is a penny worth? 1 cent. A penny is worth 1 cent. Very good. What is this coin? A nickel. Very good. And a nickel is worth how much? 5 cents. Good. A penny is worth 1 cent. A nickel is worth 5 cents. What is this? Good. This is a dime, and a dime is worth how much? Good, 10 cents. And we have our humongo coin. What is this coin? A quarter, very good. And a quarter is worth how much? Good, 25 cents. We have a penny that's worth 1 cent. That's our smallest amount. We have a nickel, which is 5 cents. A dime, 10 cents. A quarter, 25 cents. These are the coins that you've probably seen before. You've probably used these before. If you haven't, voila, here you go. All right. Now, for today's lesson, we are going to be practicing how to count up your change and your coins. Okay, we're going to start on a little bit of an easier level by first looking at coins that are the same. So, what coins do I have on my screen here? I have nickels, good. And nickels are worth how much? Good, 5 cents. If I need to find the total value of these coins, I'm going to count by 5 cents because this is 5 cents, 5 cents, 5 cents, all right? So I have my first 5 cents plus 5 plus 5, and this repeated addition equation must look really familiar from our last module, all right? We're going to be using repeated addition for a long time, trust me, okay? So we have 5 plus 5 plus 5. We can either count 5 plus 5, which equals 10, or 10 plus 5, which equals 15, or an even easier way to do it is to just skip count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. Easy peasy. Let's look at our next one. To count up this value, we know dimes are worth how much? 10. They are worth 10 cents. So we have 10 plus 10 plus 10, and let's skip count. 10, 20, 30. 10 plus 10 equals 20, plus 10 equals 30. The fastest way to do this is to skip count. Counting your change is going to take a very long time if you do one step after another, but skip counting will save you so much time. So 10, 20, 30. Now we have a new coin up here. What is this coin? 25 cents. It is a quarter. So we have 25 plus 25 plus 25. Now, this might be a little bit trickier because maybe you're not used to counting by 25s. Okay, let's practice. 25 plus 25 equals 50. 50 plus 25 equals 75. Let's practice skip counting by 25s. 25, 50, 75, 100. Okay, can we go up above that? 125, 150, 175, 200. This is a pretty big step. For right now, I promise we're not going to go over 100 with these coins. So we have 25, 50, 75 cents. 75 cents. Now, we just practiced skip counting and using our repeated addition sentences. When you go to the bank or when you are buying something from the candy store, you're not going to be able to write out a repeated addition sentence. That's not the way it's going to go. To make it faster, we skip count. So, what coin is on my screen? Good, we have nickels. How much is a nickel worth? 5 cents. And I know each one of you can count by fives. So as we count, you are going to see a slash come up on the screen. That means we have already counted it, okay? So we start with 5, and let's count up our nickels. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. What is the total value of these nickels? 50 cents. We just skip counted all of our nickels. Look at us go. All right, let's try another one. And I apologize for the typo down here. You'll know what I mean. All right, let's skip count. Now, this is where it gets tricky. There are multiple different coins on my screen. What are some coins that you see? There are 2 different coins. What coins do you see? You might see a nickel and you see some dimes, all right? Starting from the left side, let's start skip counting up. Now, they are not worth the same amount, so we gotta really be careful. How much is a nickel worth? 5, but a dime is worth 10. So we need to go from 5 and add on that dime, which is 10. So what's 5 plus 10? 15. So these 2 are 15. Another 10 is 25 plus 10, 35, 45, 55. Let's go again without stopping. We have 5, 15, good because of the 10, 25, 35, 45, 55. We have 55 cents. All right, let's try another one. What coins do you see on this screen? Ooh, you might see a quarter, you might see some dimes. Good. Let's start from the left. And this is a quarter. How much is a quarter worth? Good, 25 cents. We have 25 plus how much? 10. Remember, dimes are worth 10. So we have 25 plus 10, which equals 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. So now that we've learned how to skip count, we need to now practice counting on. So we start with one number, just like 25, and we have to count on from that number. So we had 25 plus 10 cents, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. Counting coins and counting money is always counting on. All right, let's take a look at some coins here. So, that was really, you didn't see that. We have what coins on this screen? We have dimes and pennies, good. How much are dimes worth? 10, and how much are pennies worth? 1. Pennies are the smallest. Let's start counting on from our dimes. We have 10, 20. Now we got to count on by how much? 1, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 cents. Now, I'm going to challenge you. Let's start counting from the pennies this way. Let's start counting from the pennies. We have 1, 2, 3 plus 10. Okay, 3 plus 10, 13 plus another 10, 23. Man, which one took longer to do? Starting with the dimes or starting with the pennies? We know it's 23 cents either way, but did it take longer to start from the dimes or from the pennies? It took longer to start from the pennies. Rule of thumb is, listen closely, rule of thumb is you always start counting with the coins that have the largest value. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You always start counting with the coins that have the largest value. That doesn't mean the biggest coin. That means the largest value coin. So if our dimes are worth 10 and our pennies are worth 1, we want to start out with our dimes because it's bigger. And it's easier to start out with a bigger number and build on it with smaller numbers. Okay, let's practice. So already I notice, what coins do we see? Good, you see a quarter, you see a nickel, you see a penny. Good, so quarters are worth 25 plus a nickel, 25 plus 5, 30, plus a penny, 31. We have 25 plus 5 plus 1 equals 31. Now, let's try going from the penny to the quarter and see how difficult this one is. 1 plus 5 equals 6 plus 25. How much easier was it to start with the quarter? Always start with the bigger value. This does not mean the biggest coin, because if you look really closely at nickels and dimes, they're kind of close in size. So even though the nickel's bigger than the dime, doesn't mean that it has more value. That just means that it's the size. So remember, we always start with the coins that have the biggest value and then work up from biggest to smallest. So let's look at our next one. This one, I see some coins. What coins do we see? We see quarters, we see nickels, we see a dime. Okay. They are not in the order of value. So we have 25 plus 5 plus 5 plus 10. They're not in the order from greatest to least. We have to figure out how to count them up when they're out of order like this. One thing we can do is, if you were in person and you had your coins, you could move them around with your fingers. We're going to do the same thing with our mouse. So what should the order be? If I'm counting these up and I need to count from the greatest value to the smallest value, what should my order be? Good, I'm going to start with the quarter because it's the biggest value. Then I'm just going to switch these. I'm going to go to my dime because my dime is worth 10. So I have my quarter worth 25, my dime worth 10, and my nickel's worth 5. Now it's a little bit easier to count up because I have my biggest or my greatest value coin, and I can add up my smallers. So I want you to take a second and count up the value of these coins on your own, and then we're going to go do it together. Okay, let's try it. We have 25 plus a dime, 25, 35 plus a nickel worth 5, 35 plus 5, 40, and then plus a nickel, 45, 25, 35, 40, 45. Good. Let's try another one. And this one, I'm going to challenge you to not move them around. When you get to your Google form today, you won't be able to manipulate and move your coins around, but count them by pointing, and that'll help you out, okay? You count first, and then we'll do it together. All right, if you need more time, go ahead and pause. Which coin are we going to start with? Point to the coin that we should start with. Good, our quarter, because it's the biggest value. So we start with 25 Then where should I go? My dime, because it's the next biggest, so 25 plus 10, 35. Then I'm going to go to my dime because I'm still adding the bigger numbers together. Remember, biggest numbers first, then smallest. So 25, 35, 10, 45, plus my nickel, 50. All right, your turn. All right, if you need more time, go ahead and pause. Point to the coin that I'm going to start with. Good, you're pointing to either of these quarters because they're the biggest, so we're going to start with 1 quarter, 25. Now let's add our second quarter. Remember, biggest values first. 25, 50, because 25 plus 25 is 50. And then we add our dimes because they're next biggest. 25, 50, plus 10, 60, plus 10, 70, plus our nickel worth 5, 75. Now you're probably understanding how important counting on is. We start with one value and we add on to it. Let's keep going. This one's a little bit easier. Let's see who's going to get tricked. Point to the coin we will start with. Good, our quarter because it's the biggest in value. And then we go to our dime, good. And then we go to our pennies. Let's start with our quarter. 25, 35, we add 10. And then we only have 2 left over. So 25, 35, 36, 37. Remember, those pennies are only worth 1. This one's going to be tricky. All right, we're going to do this one together, but you need to say this one with me. You need to do this one with me. All right, here we go. Point to a coin you're going to start with. Quarters, it is the biggest one. Now, let's say there weren't any quarters on this screen. Pretend there aren't any quarters. What coin would you start with then? Our dimes, good, because they are the next biggest one. Do not start with the penny. Even though the penny is bigger than the dime, does not mean that it has more value. All right, so we start with our quarters, 25, 50, then we go to our dimes. Plus 10 is 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 101. I lied, we were gonna go over 100 one time. This is the one time. Okay, next one. All this practice will be great for your Google form. Point to the coin we will start with. Good, 25 because it's the biggest value. And then point to the coin we're going to go to next. Good, our dime all the way over here. Quarter, dime, nickel, penny. Quarter, dimes, nickels, pennies. All right, quarters, dimes, nickels, pennies. Here we go. 25 plus 10, 35 plus 5, 40 plus 5, 45 plus 5, 50 plus 1, 51. I have 51 cents. All right, now before we go to our Google form, there's one thing I want to add that is on this slide. On this slide, you see 23, and then you see a little symbol next to the 23. That symbol is a cent sign. So when we say 23 cents, 28 cents, 50 cents, this is the sign that you're going to see. All right, so it looks like a little C and then a little line that goes right through it. All right, that signifies cents, as in, you know, like the dollar bill sign, the S with the 2 lines in it. This signifies coins. All right, so anytime that you would need to use coins, this is the cent symbol that you would use. For your Google Forms, you will not be able to enter in the cent sign. You can just enter in the numbers. So you're going to see pictures of coins that look exactly like the ones that we just went through, but you're not going to be able to move them around. You won't be able to cross them out. The best way to do it is to start with the biggest value and then work your way up. Parents, if you are helping your students out, it might be helpful to grab some coins or some extra change you have on the side and copy what the screen has on it, and you can have the coins right in front of you. All right, students, if your parents aren't nearby, you can maybe ask them and say, can I just borrow a couple coins to practice with my Google Forms? And I'm sure they're happy to help. Okay? Please make sure that when you do your Google form, you are selecting your classroom teacher and pressing submit as soon as you are done. All right, good luck. I look forward to seeing your answers. Bye-bye.